21st. Jessica Batman was pretty quick in the dry on Friday.
Well, the lady qualified from the previous race in 6th and final qualifying position. Jessica, how about you coming through from 21st to 6th? That would be a satisfying result.
Okay, then, and Eva Benez, quick in the dry. Seems to be, at the moment, a slightly quicker qualifier than she manages to muster up results in the races, but she did okay yesterday. She was pretty competitive at Genk, and Ava's just outside the top 6. She's going to start on the 4th row of the grid, the French driver. I think she's got a good chance as well in this race. And what can Jack Weppering do? We know from Friday he was very quick in the dry conditions. In qualifying, disaster yesterday. He's just about made it onto the grid in dead last place for the American. A very, very tall order to make it through to the top 6 from there. But with a bit of luck, a few coming off. Great first lap. You know, never know. There's more opportunities in the wet. Yesterday we saw Connor Jupp going from 33rd to 15th. Sorry, 33rd to 17th on the first lap. 16 places gained. But it's easier to do that in the wet than the dry because there are different lines. There are more drivers making mistakes. But there's no reason why, with a good first lap, you couldn't pick up 7 or 8 places. So it's possible.
Well, just hearing of review of a result in the previous race, let me just say something to you. You've got to finish in the top 6 to qualify, or you've got to be classified in the top 6. I say no more than that. There can be technical issues, there can be judicial issues, there can be penalties assessed. So if you're running 7th, 8th, 9th, it's still worth keeping on the pressure of the guy in front, the girl in front, whatever. Well, there's going to be some pressure in this one, as Chris has said, or Chris and myself have both said. Tobias Holm, the guy who at least gets the best start of this, the DNK driver, the Danish driver driving for RS competition, and he starts on pole position with Jan Jonk. We've got a Tony Kart front row and 2 very good drivers coming round. Do we get a first timer? Yes, we do. And Jan Jonk gets a better start by far. And the off-pole driver has got a good slingshot and has already put a couple of kart lengths between himself and the pole sitter, Tobias Holm. So Jan Jonk leads from Tobias Holm. Sam Shippers is in 3rd place, and just alongside him I thought I identified that as Randy Burglas. And hey, it's getting worse for the pole sitter because Tobias Holm has shipped another place. Sam Shippers going through, and the 1, 2, 3 as I read it now is Jan Jonk Denmark, Sam Shippers of the Netherlands, and Tobias Holm, the German who started on pole position, has slipped back to 3rd place. And the 1st and 2nd getting themselves a little bit clearer. Certainly a race leader, Jan Jonk, getting a good dozen kart lengths as he comes round to complete the opening lap. Sets off on lap 2 in front of Sam Shippers, Tobias Holm, Randy Burglas 4th, Alex Weinzel 5th, and Standorian Pirimargi 6th.
Yeah, not a good start for Eva Bennett. She does seem to struggle on the first lap, doesn't she? She's dropped back a few places down to 11th place. So Jonk and Shippers lead them through onto the back straight. Tobias Holm, the Danish driver, in 3rd. Burglas, then Weinzel and Pirimargi are in the top 6 as it stands through they run. And Jessica Batman's had a decent start. Jessica has up to 14th place now, the Swedish driver, from 21st on the grid.
Giving herself a chance, hasn't she?
Not great start though for Ovo Talvar. He's actually lost a place on that first lap, hasn't he? 18th position for Ovo Talvar, having started back on the 9th row of the grid. So he started 17th. He's 18th at the end of the first lap, and with a lot of work now to do. A big uphill climb, head down for Jan Jonk as he goes over the start-finish line. Sam Shippers about 2 kart lengths behind him in 2nd place. Then Tobias Holm, then Burglas, and then Max Weinzel at the back of this league quintet. 5 karts. Then 6th and 7th run together. This is the one to keep an eye on. 6th is number 237, Stendorian Pirimargi, the blue and white race suit, and about 2 kart lengths behind him is 272 Santeri Kallio. And one of them at the moment is going to get through, and one of them is not. And then there's a chasing pack of 3 karts just behind them as well, which looks pretty quick. And in the back of that pack is Eva Benez, who's back up to 10th. Jessica Batman continues to rise up the order. She's now up to 11th place from 21st on the grid. Avo Talvar up to 15th now.
Yeah, really spirited drive by both of these ladies. I'm not just saying that because I'm being chauvinistic. It's a big ask for both of, certainly for Jessica to come forward and for Eva to repair the damage of that difficult start. As Chris Hartley said in commentary, Eva Benez just does not get away from the starts very well and gives herself an uphill task early on. Well, the top 5 safely through with Alex Vinzel in 5th place, then that gap to 6th, and Stendorian Pirimargi, I would say, has just put a little bit more distance between himself and Santeri Kallio. Stendorian's just done a 50.43 against Kallio's 50.46. Scatigna, the Italian, a little bit further detached. Van Bogart 9th, but Eva Benez and Jessica Bachmann, we will keep an eye on the girls, and particularly for Eva to repair the damage of the difficult start and for Jess to build on that really storming opening lap and a half. This is the start of lap 5. Jan Jonk's lead over Sam Shippers is 0.2 of a second. Tobias Holmes still 3rd, Randy Bergler still 4th, Alex Weinzel still 5th, and these front-running 5 are a good distance clear of 6th place Stendorian Pirimargi. Just behind them, Chris, you've spotted a good battle.
Ava Bennis just picked up a place, so Ava Bennis has just gone up to 9th place ahead of Van Bogart. That was on the way into the right-hander at turn 3, so Ava back up to 9th place. Avo Talvar is only 13th, but he's now got a clear track in front of him. He's got his head down, and I think we're about to see a very fast lap from the man at 3rd in the championship as the Estonian tries to catch up the next group of karts with a bright green yellow helmet. Avo Talvar 13th. He's got his work cut out now with 5.5 laps to go to catch this lead group, but the top 5 are together. 6th and 7th actually looking quite comfortable as it stands.
Jessica Bachmann was quickest on that previous lap, 50.220, and she's done a 50.131, which hasn't been headed. She's flying.
And Avo Talvar sets the fastest lap of the race, 50.048 seconds. He is now 13th. How far away is he from picking up some more places? He's going to pick up one very soon. He's getting onto the tail now of Raya Haruka as they go onto the back straight. He'll get him, I think, before the end of the lap. And then he's got to do qualifying laps now, really, all the way through to try and catch 6th place. And that's as best as he's going to do. He's not going to catch the lead 5 unless something big happens. So Avo Talvar just coming into his shot now with the bright yellow helmet there in 13th place, going through the hairpin now and getting onto the tail of Raya Haruku. Then he's got a big gap to make up to the next 3. It's not looking good for him, but he'll keep trying. Head down for the race leader, Yang Yonk over the line. Sam Shippers there in 2nd. 3rd is Tobias Holm. Then it's Randy Bergles, then it's Max Weinzel in that lead quintet of karts. And now the gap from 6th to 7th comes down because Kallio, number 272, getting onto the tail of 237 Pirimargi. This is for the final qualification spot. They're going onto the back straight now. We're about 3/4 of the way through the race. He's pulling up the toe. He pulls out of the slipstream. Doesn't quite make it through though, but he had to think about it. And for the time being, Pirimargi hanging onto the position with the lighter coloured kart, the blue and white machine. There you see the top 5. There you see coming into the hairpin, the battle for 6th place, the final qualification spot. Hanging onto it just about is Stendor and Pirimargi, but he's having to go very defensive on the way into the hairpin. Very defensive indeed. That will send him out wide.
And coming
into the next corner.
He's
making it through, and the rest of the field have caught them all up now as well. So we've now got suddenly 5 or 6 karts battling for position. Back up the inside goes Pirimargi to try and get 6th place back away. And he's done it. Pirimargi fights back. He's back into 6th place. Kallio is there. Scatigna is now on their tail. And he's brought with him Van Bogart and Jessica Bachmann's in the hunt as well now.
Yeah, a really good illustration of what racing is about. You've got to the 6th and 7th more than anybody else have got to race themselves. They got the defensive angle by Stendorian Pirimargi. To some degree he had to, but that just invited everybody in. And now, if you will, we've got 2 racers, the almost certain qualifiers in the top 5, and then 6 or 7 drivers that could get that last place. We're in the final quarter of the race because this is the start of lap 9.
Yeah, 8 laps complete. Weinzel got ahead of Home in 4th place, so change for 4th. Pirimargi back into that 6th place. Van Bogart, then Bachmann, Jessica Bachmann setting the fastest lap of the race last time through. There's all sorts of chopping and changing going on in this group of karts. Pirimargi is actually safe in 6th at the moment. He's got about 6 kart length lead. Everybody else battling for 7th place. Avo Talvar is at the back of that group now into 12th position. So 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. Make that 11th. He's just gone 11th at the end of the back straight. So Avo Talvar is trying very hard, but I fear 7th place is as good as it's going to get for him. he's just going to miss out, I reckon.
Does look that way because we're heading round. There's just 1.25 laps, less than 1.25 laps remaining. Another guy who's not going to qualify, but we have mentioned him previously. Let's just give him a mention now. From 34th and last, Jack Weprin up to 15th. Good effort by the New York State driver. So, on to the final lap. Jan Jonk's lead, which looked very precarious a few moments ago, actually now at 0.36 of a second, looks relatively safe. The 5 leading drivers well clear of 6th place Stendorian Pirimargi, but Stendorian is biggest part of 3/4 of a second clear of 7th place Jess Bachmann. Good drive by Jess Bachmann. If she doesn't make it into the pre-finals, she can walk away from Largis circuit here in Italy, at least with her head held high. She will have gone down fighting, but when 6 drivers go past, they've got to go through scrutineering, officials having a look at various things. It's not all over till it's all over. But taking the checkered flag, Jan Jonk wins it. Sam Shippers comes through in 2nd place. Alex Weinzel 3rd. Randy Bergles 4th. Tobias Holmes, who slipped alarmingly really from 1st to 5th, is safe. Stendorian Pirimargi completing the top 6. We say congratulations to those guys. Below them, have to say commiserations. Jess Bachmann, a brave drive into 7th. Santeri Kallio, well, I guess he gave his all. 8th place was his reward. Lennart van Bogart 9th. And Arvo Talva, I think we can also say, salvaging some personal pride there because he didn't get away early.
No.
Early on, did he? But at least drove himself to a top 10 finish in these 10 laps. It's not much of a consolation, but he can take forward into the next round. Hey, I can still race when I've got a level playing field.
Yeah, if Alvo could have had a decent first lap, I think he would have very much been in the hunt. But
I rather
he
think
lost
you
the
said
place,
that, didn't you? A good first lap is crucial.
That's what he needed. Jess had a good first lap, and she almost did it. Like, she made 7 places, 8 places up on the first lap. She took Jessica Bachmann, took a second out of Pirimargi on the last 2 laps, but she didn't quite manage it. So Jan Jonk, Sam Shippers, Max Weinzel, Randy Bergles, Tobias Holm and Stendorian Pirimargi have all made it through, and they will be joining the back of the grid, subject of course, as Ken suggested, to all the post-race checks. So 7th place to Jessica Bachmann, but we did see in one occasion where somebody finished 7th in the second chance heat, thought that day was over, and actually somebody got kicked out, and they did make it through to the pre-final. So as Ken quite rightly says, the day isn't just completely over just yet until everybody's been through these post-race checks. So Jan Jonk winning from Sam Shippers, Max Weinzel, and then we had Randy Bergles, Tobias Holm, and a brave driver thought as well to get that 6th place back from the Estonian Stendorian Pirimargi, because he was under attack. He lost 7th place. He had them all suddenly queuing up behind him.